The usual story, she's barren. You see, all these women don't bear till Yahweh permits them to bear. That's because these were all chosen births. The storytellers want Yahweh to be involved in the birth. So all these births are difficult. The average people, they have easy births. Everyone's getting pregnant right left and center. But the chosen line, they have to wait till Yahweh opens up the womb. You'll see that, I don't say that's written anywhere, but that's clearly the implication that we're getting it. So Isaac prays, Yahweh heard it. This is Yahweh's. Yahweh hears the prayers, and we get a little sort of poetic statement about what's going to be. Two childs struggle in her womb. What do I need all this aggravation for? By the way, later on when Judah gets this prostitute that was his daughter-in-law pregnant, her name is Tamar, two childs struggle in her womb. That seems like a variation of this story. And I think in the Judah story, the nurse puts a red string around the finger of the one child that came out first. And then he gets back in and the other child gets out first. And it doesn't follow up on that red thread thing. But here too they're having a problem with struggling in the womb here. And there is red. You see, like in the Judah Tamar story, instead of a red thread, Esau is red. You have that? I don't know if we can find. Let's just take a look at that Judah Tamar story if we can quickly. Let's see if we can find it.
Chapter 38.
38. Let's see. Okay. Okay. There's a story about Judah Tamar here. And line 29, she had twins, 28, 29. And a midwife caught the one and tied a scarlet thread to it. He was the first to arrive. And then the other got out first. Anyway, one was called Perez and the other Zerah. The one that came out with the scarlet thread, on line 30, he was called Zerah. But nothing happens. We don't have anything more. That storyline dies. We don't know, we don't know why they told us about it and what the conclusion is. So, just interesting. I'm not sure it's an accident or if it's well, give me that. It's chapter, what was that? I want to mark it in here.
38.
38, and what was the line there?
Verse 27 through 30.
27 to 30. Red string. I'm going to mark red string. Okay. So, okay, so Esau is red and hairy. You see that? That's famous that he's red and hairy. That's going to be part of the whole story, that he's hairy. By the way, Isaac is really out the window here. He's just an old doddering fool by this time. I told him. Why do you think Esau is red and hairy here? Yeah, exactly. Edom. Esau is the father of the Edomites. Edom in Hebrew is red. But the capital of Edom, where they hang out across Jordan near the Red Sea, by the way, that's why the Red Sea is called red too, because of Edom. That's where we get the Red Sea from. The Red Sea, by the way, is blue as blue can be. I've been on. But the mountains are red. That's why I think it's red. Because you know how you go into some of these desert areas, and you look at the distance and you see the mountains and they're red? Along the Red Sea, the mountains are red. And when they reflect in the sea, you see red in the sea. I think that's where the name Red Sea comes from, the mountains being red. And Edom, Esau's descendants, Edomites, they're red. And the name of the place they hang out is called Mount Seir. Mount Seir is where the Edomites are, S-E-I-R. You've probably heard of that. You'll see it again in the stories here. But Seir in Hebrew is hair. Seir in Hebrew is hair. So the reason Esau is red and hairy is his descendants are the Redites, and they're on the place called Mount Hair. That's why. That's why, he's not really red and hairy, I'm sure. But the storyteller likes these elements, they make good elements, don't they? Okay, so he's red and hairy, and then his brother was born. And you see, they're like the Perez and Zerah, they're fighting in the womb. He's grasping his brother's heel. And therefore, he's called Jacob. Something to do with, I don't know how that has to do with grabbing his brother's heel, but that's why he's called Jacob. In any case, Isaac was 60 years old. Esau became a good hunter. Now, in this story, God doesn't like the Cain and Abel story. It's often two brothers squabbling. God doesn't so much like the sacrifice of the meat. Who likes the sacrifice of the meat here? Isaac. Isaac likes Esau because he brings him fresh game. And then he can, he likes meat cooked on, fresh meat. He likes that. Esau's a skilled hunter. He's like who? Abel. Abel had flocks, but Esau's a hunter. And he brings back game. With Jacob, he was a quiet, stay-at-home guy. Hung around the tents. It says that here, doesn't it? But Isaac preferred Esau. Is it the case that fathers sometimes prefer one son over another? Yeah, sometimes. And mothers too. And that's always in these stories here. I mean, the Hebrews are not shy, not trying to make these people perfect. And he liked wild game, liked hunted products. He's not into vegetables. Neither was God in the Cain and Abel story. So the Old Testament guy, these guys are, good meat cooking on the fire. That's a big deal. And here we get now the mom preferring the other boy. Does that happen in families? Yeah, it does. So the mom likes one son or daughter, and the father likes the other one, and sets up issues that continue throughout the whole life of that family. So anyway, one day Jacob is like Cain. He makes soup and stuff out of gruel. And Esau came back from the country. This sounds like a Yahweh story, doesn't it? It's really colorful like the Yahweh story. And Esau said to Jacob, give me some of your, the soup is red too. Look at this, the soup is red too. Give me some of your red soup. Come on, beat. And that's why he was called Edom, you see, because he wanted red soup.